It is fitting when Black Horse Productions made an officially sanctioned documentary about the history of the American Legion 2 years ago. And also, these are still available at Emblem Sales if you would like to purchase them. The only member of Congress to be included in the interviews is our next guest. A true champion for veterans and American Legion issues, he served in Congress from 1991 to 2011. Although his district was in Waco, Texas, his legislative record benefited veterans everywhere. After becoming chairman of the Military Construction and Veterans Appropriations Subcommittee in 2007, he authored an historic $17.7 billion increase in funding for veterans' health care and benefits, the largest increase in the history of the VA. He also played a key role in enacting the post-9/11 GI Bill, legislation that he publicly said would not have been passed without the American Legion. When Auxiliary National President Ashworth and I attended D-Day observances in France this year, it was no surprise that we found our guest there. He was widely credited for raising congressional awareness and pressing for funds to restore a monument honoring our veterans at Point du Hoc. He is the son of a World War II naval aviator and a past recipient of the American Legion's Distinguished Public Service Award. Folks, he may have left Congress, but veterans are still in his heart. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present the highest honor that the American Legion can bestow upon an individual, the American Legion Distinguished Service Medal, to former United States Representative Chet Edwards.
Good morning. You know, it is not easy following Annie Oakley Ashworth and preceding Miss America. But my wife, Leanne, and I are so deeply honored to be with you on this incredibly inspiring morning. You know, I don't know about you. I think I do, though. But in this age of cynicism about our country, how good or great we are, today, this morning, your youth champions, these unbelievably dedicated public servants, our military personnel, the story of Rudy. Doesn't this program remind us all how blessed we are to be Americans every single day? Commander Foster, President Ashworth, Commander Dew, and leaders of the American Legion, Auxiliary, and Sons of the American Legion. I am deeply humbled by this award because of my lifelong respect to you, the American Legion, what you stand for, who you are, what you do, your patriotic values. In my book, your spirit and your sense of service, your commitment to our great nation is what is great and what is good about America. And I thank you for giving me the privilege just to be in the same room with so many who have done so much in behalf of my family and the American family. Now, I'm going to do something you might not expect from a recovering politician. I had a speech I had prepared, but you have had such a wonderful, inspiring program, and it's taken just a few minutes longer than expected. I'm going to put my speech aside and just share with you a couple of thoughts, if I could, from the heart. I'm deeply grateful to all those who taught me along my life's journey that honoring our veterans, not just on Veterans Day or Memorial Day, but every day, is an obligation, a moral obligation of each and every American. I'm grateful to my father, as Commander Foster said, a World War II naval aviator, who told me that he was scheduled to deploy to the Pacific 3 weeks before the Second World War ended. But because of the brave service of millions of Americans who'd gone before him, the war ended. And he reminded me from the time I was a young boy that had it not been for the service of other World War II veterans, the war could have lasted longer. He would have been deployed to the Pacific, could likely have been killed in an invasion of Japan, and I wouldn't be in this world today. My dad taught me that literally my life is the product of the service of veterans, and that is a lesson I will never forget. I accept this Distinguished Service Award today in behalf of my father, all who served with him, and all of the inspiring military men and women and families I have met in my lifetime. I accept it in behalf of that young Army soldier I met 3 days before my wife brought our first son, JT, into this world, who was sitting next to his pregnant wife as he was about to be deployed to Bosnia. And I excitedly talked to him about how much it meant to me to be there in just a few days. I knew when our son would come into the world. And he looked up at me and without resignation or complaint said, "Sir, I was in Desert Storm for the birth of my first child, and I will be in Bosnia for the birth of my second child." How do we repay someone with a sense of service like that? I wonder how I can ever thank the 29-year-old widow I met at Fort Hood, an installation I had the honor of representing through 3 combat deployments. Met her one day. She had a newborn baby in her arms, a little girl who would never be hugged by her dad because he had given his life for you and me in service in Iraq. You know what she said to me that day? She didn't ask for anything for herself. She simply asked, "Congressman, what can I do to help other widows, military widows, deal with the grief that they are having to live with?" Asked how she could help others even as she was grieving with that newborn baby in her own arms. That is the spirit of America. That is the spirit of this great country of ours. As a father of 2 teenage boys, 2 soon-to-be Eagle Scouts, I'm proud to say, how do I thank the parents of Arden Cooper, who I watched receive posthumously their 22-year-old son, Silver Star? Because in the midst of brutal Iraqi fire and Desert Storm, he saw a wounded comrade in the sands of that desert and went and laid his body on top of his comrades. In doing so, saved his life. How do I thank them for giving their son to you and me? I thank the American Legion for constantly saying thank you in a meaningful way to our servicemen and women, our veterans, and the unsung heroes of our nation's defense, our military families. Thank you for what you do for our youth. Thank you for what you have done both in combat and after you take the uniform off. I tell you what, let the cynics and naysayers say what they want, but the spirit of the American Legion is the spirit of America. And the spirit of America is alive and well in this country today. I see it in our houses of worship. I see it in our schools. I see it right here this morning with your youth, with our military leaders. and these great service personnel. May God bless the American Legion, and may God always bless the land that we love. Thank you very much.